I'm Merryl and this is my mystery school. It's time to use the Astro Dice to look at Elon Musk. There he is. We're going to look at his strengths and his weaknesses, the challenges, and things like what makes him happy and his next move. We'll start with his basic character. We'll put his chart here just alongside for reference. Elon Musk. What is your basic character? We've got Uranus, Taurus, and what's that? The 9th house. So what's interesting about this is Uranus is in Taurus right now. So in some way the dice is saying he is a product of his time. He is made for this time. His basic character is disruptive, revolutionary, independent, piercing, and can really flip the tables on the fundamentals. Taurus is about your possessions, your money, your property, what you have and what you own. It's about your self-worth. Uranus in Taurus is a bit famous for producing tyrants, and if you look back at history, the last time Uranus was in Taurus was about 70 years ago, and that was Mussolini, Stalin, Hitler. The 9th house is about travel and movement and foreign places and getting your ideas out broadly. It's social media, it's broadcast. It's also travel to faraway places like Mars. His basic character is a disruptor with strength and perseverance, and he uses that kind of irritating power to get things moving on a bigger, broader level. So what makes Elon Musk happy? What brings him happiness? We have Neptune, in Scorpio. Neptune in Scorpio. In the 9th house. Neptune in Scorpio has a big, deep karma. Neptune dissolves whatever it touches, and Scorpio takes you down into the deep heart of it. So something he loves to do is dissolve the hard baggage and tradition and waste and get right down deep. And he likes to do that in a 9th house way, which is about big vision, really extending the broad experience, gaining knowledge and seeking. Something that makes him happy is really going down deep and flying out the other side. And I guess the short version of this looks like he likes LSD. Neptune in Scorpio is a transcendental experience. It dissolves the barriers between sex and drugs and death and birth. So I guess something that makes him happy is just getting really out of it sometimes. It frees up his imagination. Now we look at his strengths, the basic strengths. What does he use best? And we've got Neptune, tenth house, and Gemini. So he's a big thinker. He's a dreamer. He's able to put big dreams and visions into a practical, adaptable solution. 10th house is the house of success. It's the house of career and getting yourself out in the public for recognition, establishing a reputation. And his best thing is communicating and passing on his big dreams and visions. Neptune is really hard to pin down. And Gemini is also quite duplicitous. So one of his great strengths is being able to put on a mask, throw some glamour, throw some illusion, and distort the image of what goes on behind the public face. He's a real master magician, a shapeshifter. That's his greatest strength. If we look back at his birth chart, he has Saturn there right at the beginning of Gemini. And it's opposite Neptune right there at the beginning of Sag. So this ability he has to use Neptune and Gemini to its best is right there in his chart. As an opposition, he's able to bounce between the two here. And Saturn in Gemini is very bendy with the rules. And it's part of his skill to really wriggle around all those restrictions. Really works for him. Saturn opposite Neptune is a tough transit to be born with. Apart from the slipperiness, if it's not used well, you can become a really a zealot, predatory, dangerous, no boundaries. But when he channels that well, it comes out here as that glamour that he can throw and pull people through into his vision. Okay, Elon, what are your weaknesses? The moon. Oh, that one went right out. Cancer. 9th house again. So we know from his chart that he has his sun in Cancer. And we can't be sure where his moon is because we don't know the time, but it is most likely in Virgo. To really drill down on this, his weakness is that he's really insecure, that no one loves him and that no one believes him. Oops. We also have a match because the moon is the ruler of Cancer. It represents the mother and nurturing. He feels insecure that he hasn't got enough, that he hasn't got enough 9th house stuff, enough knowledge, people don't believe him. And I guess also there's an insecurity about feeling restricted from movement, restricted from freedom of thought. There's a strong feminine there too, so part of his weakness is women, looking to them to nurture his ideas and to snuggle back when he can't get out into the world. It's an Achilles heel for him. So what's his next biggest challenge? Next big challenge for Elon Musk. We've got the 3rd house and we've got Saturn. And this one is Pisces. Saturn is the planet of law and restriction and order and authority. 3rd house is one of his domains, one of his areas. It's movement, travel, communication, messaging. It's Tesla, it's Twitter. It's even things like logistics and movement in small areas. With Pisces there, and Saturn in Pisces is a bit slippery. And I wonder if there's some challenge coming up that is calling into account any slippery dealings or blurry lines that occurred in his interests in messaging and transport. There may be some regulation coming down, and maybe there's delays, or this Piscean shifting, splitting in two directions, blurring the boundaries. Pisces is really creative, but getting the creative side down to the law and order of Saturn looks like it gets held up in the small nuts and bolts part of the operation. Something goes missing in the basic communication. This one echoes that previous one and his chart where he's got Saturn opposite Neptune. Neptune being the ruler of Pisces, Saturn down here. 3rd house is the house of Gemini. So we've got exactly that signature that's in his birth chart. His next big challenge is being accountable and accountable to himself. This slipperiness might be coming out, or there might be rumours and gossip. So how's he going to manage that? Tell us, Astro Dice. How is he going to manage that challenge? It's echoed in his birth chart. Aquarius. And that's the south node. And the 10th house. How's he going to handle it? Aquarius is fixed. It has the vision. It already knows what the future is, and it just sticks to it. The south node is falling back on what's familiar. And the 10th house is how he throws it out there in public. His reputation, his career. He's just going to dogmatically go on doing what he does. Because it's the south node in the middle, he might have to pull away from some of these ambitions, or rework some of the technology, because Aquarius is technology as well. But ultimately, I just see how he will handle that challenge is he will just keep on keeping on. We said he's a man of his times. He's born in the right time. And we've got Pluto moving into Aquarius in the next couple of years. And the kind of interests that he has are very Pluto in Aquarius. Technology, electricity, futuristic vision, a sci-fi world, but also real challenges to freedom, challenges to independence. So I think the Astro Dice have given us a really cool insight into Elon Musk. I'm Merryl Key, and this is my mystery school. Help out my channel with a like, follow, share and subscribe. If you'd like to know more, contact me through my website www.merrylkey.com. Blessed be.